And welcome to Mad Old Guys Racing, and today we're in Assetto Corsa having a look at the latest development from RaceSim Studio. That's their classic endurance pack. I'll just make sure I got that right. I'll click up there without causing the bollocks up completely. Yes, classic endurance pack. 3 cars. There's the Toyama 2-0, the Nisumo R39, and the Ferruccio 33, or as I'm going to give them nicknames, the Toyota TS020, the Nissan R390, and the Ferrari 333 SB, because I think nicknames work so much better than these genuine actual names that they use in these things. So, let's have a look at the specs on the cars. I did record this earlier in Assetto Corsa's UI rather than doing Content Manager, but that's only because it was full screen and I couldn't be asked to mess about. So, let's have a quick look at the specs. Alright, let's quick look at those. Now, I will have a look at the Nissan in the showroom. Right, now, hopefully I remember when I do the other cars to actually say I'm going to show you the showroom, because it might just appear, so, whatever. Right, what is it? Well, it's the, I'll speak as I drive, because I can do things like that. It's a GT1 class car. It was developed by Nissan in association with Tom Walkinshaw Racing. The bloke who designed it also did the XJR 15. V8, I can't remember how big it is, but it's roughly 600 horsepower, all three are around about the 600 horsepower. Designed specifically for one purpose and one purpose only, and that was to race at Le Mans. And that it did for 2 years, and that was the only 2 races they entered with it. I think the first year was it 97 or 98? I'll have to double check that. But was it in the first year? Martin Brundle in the pre-season or pre-qualifying session set some ridiculously fast lap time. Now, I'm using it at Le Mans because obviously it was built for Le Mans. You can use it at other circuits, but how good or bad it'll be is open to interpretation from the very simple fact it hasn't got a huge amount of adjustability on it. There's one option for rear wing. You can have a 0 or 1. No adjustment for a front wing. Camber on the front end. Default is about minus 2.4 degrees, and it goes up to minus 3, so not a huge amount on that. Overall, not very adjustable, but then it was only run here, so why would it be? The main thing about it is it's a little bit understeery. Now, whether it really was or not, I don't know, but of the three cars, it is the most understeery. It's definitely got the least front end on it. I have run them around Silverstone, and this was definitely, of the three, not the one you really want to be running around here. You'd want the Toyota or the Ferrari. It's quickest in a straight line, and it uses that straight line speed to actually make up lap time that it's losing in the corners. It's, I don't know whether it's just that I haven't driven AC for a while, but I seem to be getting better at not forcing it into understeer, so should hit about 200 miles an hour here. Be better with some heat in the front tyres. I'm not sure if I actually made it over the 200 mile amount, and might have been easy for me, so I'm not sure if I made it over the 200 mile an hour, might not. But interesting car, certainly different to some of the stuff I normally drive. This is where it starts to lose out, it's around here a bit. Oop, a bit wide. I think that was still just about legal. Let's see if we can avoid killing ourselves while doing a reasonably representative lap. Might want first gear there, but whatever. Let's see how it goes. Of course, when they did race, oh, that was close. That was nearly a bloody disaster. The layout was slightly different. In 98 to now. There was a bit of a cut, wasn't great. Under the Dunlop Bridge there was a bit more of a straight. And also the first corner wasn't quite as tight into the chicane, so not sure how much difference it would make in terms of lap time. Let's see what we can do it here. That felt a little bit edgy. It feels like if you try and push it, it will just... Nah, it's not going to do it. And it feels reasonably balanced, apart from the push on the front end. It's not doing inconsistent things, which is good. But it's certainly, of the three, it's the quickest in a straight line in default. As always, I will do these in default only. The default setup's definitely got, is a bit more slippery than the other two. I don't know how good a lap I can actually put in here. I was doing 4:37 was my best in this. So, like I said, there wasn't a lot to choose between the Nissan and Toyota really around here. Almost carried too much speed in here. But yeah, just a little bit more front end would be nice, but then I don't know, would it ruin the balance? Who knows? Might be one of those cars that just wants a little bit of understeering. That didn't feel great. Not sure that was the best line through there, but it didn't feel too bad. Not too bad. Like I said, it just feels like it doesn't really want to grip up on the front end as well as I'd like it to. But again, if it did, would it cause a problem? Who knows? Right, I will remember to save the replay, hopefully. Because if I don't, I'll be kicking myself. So, back in a minute with another car. Right, back again. This time we're in the Toyota TS020. This was jointly developed by Toyota with help from Dallara, I believe. Again, nice big V8 turbo engine in the back of it. Again, developed under the GT Gran Turismo rules. The Gran Turismo rules are a bit weird. They were meant to be based on a production vehicle, and both Nissan and Toyota basically went, right, we're going to make a production car. And then they made one production car each for their respective cars, and then built the race cars based on the fact that that was their production vehicle. So yeah, whatever. In fact, Toyota, I believe, did something slightly weird, because one of the things was that it had to be a road usable car and had to have space for luggage, which was a suitcase. Now, Mercedes had bent the rules a little by saying it's sort of tucked in under the bodywork somewhere. It was basically inaccessible. Toyota basically said, when the fuel tank's empty, there's a big space in it. That'll be where you store your suitcase, apparently. So, whatever. Right, we'll have a quick look at it in the showroom, and then we'll have a drive in it. Back in a sec. Right, now, I didn't actually, when I was in the showroom, do the internal view, did I say? Oh well, whatever. Right, let's have a drive around. Now, this did something like 3 races, did 2 years of Le Mans, 98, 99, and did the 1,000 kilometre Fusion. That was 3 races it did, so 1 more than the Nissan, so well done them. The second year it ran in Le Mans, it actually ran not as a GT1 but as a LMGTP, I think it was, prototype. They kept changing the bloody rules every 5 minutes around what was and what wasn't eligible, so yeah, all gets a bit confusing. No idea how this is going to go. Hopefully not too badly. But this has certainly got a better front end than the Nissan, but it ain't as quick in a straight line, so it's the old swings and roundabouts job where it's making up time in the corners and it's losing on the straight. It just comes down to how long is you straight, and will you lose enough on the straight to not be able to make it up in the corners, or will you actually gain more in the corners than you're losing in the straight? So it should hit about 192ish, something like that here. I'm not looking up there because I want to brake. Oh, mind those bloody curbs. They are very, very easy to spin your car on, which is rather embarrassing. Well, it would be if I did it. As you might have gathered from the fact I said that, I did it earlier on when I was just trying the cars out and deciding whether to do it here or at Silverstone. At the moment, fastest lap I've done is about 3:47ish, I think. So I think it's got a bit more in it. The question is, can I get it out of it without killing myself and the car? It does have a weirdly high 6th gear. Weirdly high bend. There's quite a gap between 5th and 6th, much more than I would have thought. So rather than being closer spaced than 4th and 5th, and wider spaced. So I don't know whether that's a mistake or whether they really were like that. It just feels so much more planted going through there than the Nissan. So it swings and roundabouts on how you do your lap time. You would have thought round here that straight line is king. So all about how much speed you can generate down the big straights. But nowadays with these hybrid things that they're running, it's all about how fast you can accelerate up to top speed. You don't actually need the top speed necessarily, because the non-hybrid cars are potentially quicker in a straight line. They just don't get to the top end as quick. I think I should drop in the first for that one. Here we go. Let's see what we can do. Hopefully not kill myself in the main option. I keep hitting that rev limiter on that gear there. I have to say, it's very nice to come through that corner and being able to actually brake without killing yourself. It doesn't suddenly snap as you try and get on the brakes, which is good. Oh, got a bit too much rotation there. See if we can get this corner right twice in a row. Yeah, just about. Up a fair bit already. it just feels more positive than the Nissan does. Like I say, it's not as quick in a straight line. It's 10 mile an hour down or something like that. 8 mile an hour, something like that. Made a lot of time through there, surprisingly. The dash lights are a bit bright, I have to say. If I was sitting in the pitch dark, I would not be enjoying those. Didn't gain as much through that one. So at the moment I'm on for what, 235-ish? Maybe. I don't know what I did with it. It's quite nice on the brakes. All three cars are quite nice on the brakes. They seem like they're giving you enough feedback to tell you what's happening. A little bit of chirp from the tyre. I don't know what sort of volume I've got the tyre sound set at, but they're just about telling you enough to tell you what's going on. A little bit more squirrely that time than the previous lap, so. So maybe 2 seconds up. Where'd that come from? Now let's see what sort of speed we can carry through Porsche curves. Try not to run too wide through the first part, I mean. So easy, so tempting to just overdo it through that part. As long as I don't balls it up through this slightly lumpy section here, I'll be fine. Oh, might have gone a bit deep there. Yeah, it was a little bit deep. That's not bad. So that was what, about a second faster than the Nissan, and certainly felt a lot more planted, shall we say, to drive. So very nice. Right, that's 2 out of 3. Let's see what we can do with the third one. So, recipe button, back in a minute. Hello and welcome to the third car, and this is the one that's slightly different in as much as this is an LMP1 car as opposed to an LMGT or LMGDP, and that's the Ferruccio 323 SP. This was developed by Ferrari in conjunction with Dallara and uses a V12 Formula 1 engine, taken out to from 3.5 to 4 litres. Very pretty car. I always liked the look of this. Don't know what it is, just the lines of it. It's one of those. It's just feels right and looks right. We'll just have a look in the showroom, so back in a minute and a half-ish. Right, now, looks pretty. Does it go? Let's find out. Again, usual thing, we're in all default setup, so now, as I said, this is an LMP1 car, not LMGT, so slightly different spec, and this was actually built more or less to run in the sort of IMSA championship in the States, and then was used for other things as well, sports car, various sports car and other series, and the Le Mans prototype type series. Was certainly saw a lot more action than the other two cars in the pack, in that it did slightly more than 2 races, about 150 I think it was. Oops, a little bit too much cutting. So yeah, it's the most adjustable car of the 3 as well. It's seems to have 3 different aero packages, I believe, although I can't find any information about what they are, which is not very helpful. It also has front and rear aero adjustment, and everything else is fairly adjustable. Interestingly, 5-speed gearbox, which I was slightly surprised at, because the Project Cars 2 version of this is actually 6-speed gearbox, and I don't know why. If you look in Wikipedia, it does say 5-speed. I looked it up afterwards and went, that's odd. Why has it only got 5 gears? But again, roughly about 600 horsepower, so on a par with the other 2 cars. Obviously, aero-wise, probably less aerodynamic, purely on the basis it's open. I would assume that a closed cockpit would give you better aero, although it's not strictly true. There's more aero than just the cockpit, so but this thing's definitely I think the quickest of the 3 in terms of cornering. Certainly not as quick in a straight line, not in its default anyway, and it's probably the one that is most connected to the ground, in terms of you feel like you can throw it around a little bit more, although that probably leads you to being a little bit more aggressive with it, and probably a little bit more prone to fucking up, shall we say. So now, due to various issues, I've actually jumped in this car having just had my tea, and it's about an hour and a half since I drove the other 2, so can I remember how to drive? We'll find out in a minute. To say, trying to make this video has been a pain in the arse would be an understatement. Every time I sat down for more than 5 minutes, something went, oh, can you just do this? Remember, I only go down 1 gear through there. That loads up really, really nicely. Look, don't run the curves. I forgot to check what the auto settings are like, because I'm sure there should be a bit more scrub noise than the tyres. They're rather quiet, but now this you do have to look a little bit careful on the downshifts, because you can feel the back end doing this on the downshifts, as it's, I don't know whether it needs a little clutch adjustment or something, or a little adjustment to the downshift blip. In terms of feel, this is definitely the one I think that's gives you the feeling like you're hanging on for dear life better than the other 2. That's a little bit shit. really get that right. Although, seem to be getting plenty of speed down the straight. Should peak slightly slower than the Toyota, a lot slower than the Nissan. Might be what we're doing, about 186ish, I think. You look up there, I'll look down here. On a par with my best, which might not be great. We'll find out in a minute. Or about 2.5 maybe. But yeah, it's definitely of the three cars, this is the one I think you'd probably spend the most time in, especially as it's got all the adjustability, so driving it elsewhere, because it was obviously used in other places as well, because it was used in IMSA and all sorts, so and at places like Sebring, Daytona, Laguna Seca possibly. I'll have to look, but it was definitely used a lot more. Started production in '96, I think it was. And like I said, they definitely made a lot more of these. I think it was, the initial batch was made by Dallara, and then there was a secondary batch made by, I can't remember the name of the bloke, but it's something to do with the Momo. Hence the Momo on this particular car, if I remember rightly. Gain a bit, lose a bit, gain a bit, lose a bit. See if we can get it right through here. Try not to run too wide. Line right through here, we should be able to pick up a couple of tenths, maybe. Or maybe not. That was a terrible exit. Well, I'm tempted to do another lap just to see if I can go a bit faster. Well, that didn't quite go according to plan, that secondary lap, so oops. Right, press the button so I'll sit on this screen. What do I think of the cars? They're all very nice. They're up to the usual RaceSim Studio standards in terms of modelling and sounds and physics. They all feel different. They're all get their performance in different ways. But the trade-off between top speed and handling in sort of fast, medium, slow speed corners, etc. So yeah, they're all definitely got their own characteristics and they show through. Do I think they're worth buying? About a tenner. There's currently 10% off, I think. If you're gonna race at Le Mans and you want to recreate sort of that era of car, I assume they're going to have a second pack with some more of the cars in it, because it's actually been called Pack 1 at various points. So maybe once they've got a few more cars out there, maybe the BMW V12 what else? The CLK Merc and maybe the 911 GT1, Porsche. So you got 6 cars to choose from. Maybe that would make it a worthwhile purchase, because then you could have almost a full field of like the GT1 and some of the LMP1 cars, and that would be quite good fun, I think. If you're not going to run them anywhere else other than where they were, literally where they ran, then obviously only the Ferrari's the one that ran other places. So it's all a bit swings and roundabouts on whether or not you think it's worth the effort. But in terms of, is it worth the effort for the quality of the cars? Yes, undoubtedly. Is it worth it for, are you likely to run them? That's entirely up to you. But they are fun cars. Certainly the little Ferrari is great fun. I did enjoy driving it around Silverstone as well, but then I also enjoyed the other two, but in different ways. And like I said, I think the Nissan really doesn't like other circuits quite as much, where it can spread its legs and get a bit of speed up. So somewhere like Fuji would probably be quite good at. I'm trying to think where else. Road America maybe, although the carousel would probably kill it. So yeah, it's like, depends what you want to do and where you want to run. So overall though, damn good cars. Good quality modelling, great sounds, good physics. Overall, good package. Up to you whether or not you spend your money on them. So for me, for now, that will do. And enjoy your racing. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.